believed I was eternal. My eternity had stopped here, in this rotten hall, and the presence of imminent death filled me with a peace of mind that I savored. I no longer needed anything. There was nothing I desired. My soul was stripped bare. I was no longer afraid of Enrique. Having lost all my freedom, and with it, everything that mattered to me, my children, my mom, my life and my dreams, with my neck chained to a tree, not able to move around, to talk, to eat and to drink, to carry out my most basic bodily needs, subjected to constant humiliation, I still had the most important freedom of all. No one could take it away from me. That was the freedom to choose what kind of person I wanted to be.
Ingrid Betancourt, reading from Even Silence Has an End, her memoir of being held hostage for more than 6.5 years in the Colombian jungle. How did you stay alive? That number of times, I mean, you tried unsuccessfully to escape a number of times. They had you on a leash. They would drag you. They would hook your neck, your ankle.
I think that we all have in ourselves this kind of animal instinct to survive no matter what. But for me, it was also God, faith. It was the love of my children that I wanted to get back. It was my companions that were with me, my fellow hostages, that were with their fraternity, their love, their solidarity. They were just pushing me up. And I think it was also a commitment not to give up, a force inside of all of us to just stay alive.
You mentioned your fellow hostages. At the same time your book has come out, the 3 American contractors, military contractors, they worked for Grumman, for Northrop Grumman. Theirs has come out, and they criticize you. I was struck by one of the stories that they deal with and how differently you deal with it in your book, and it's the issue of the radio. The guerrillas demanded all the radios be taken away. That was all of your lifeline to the outside world.
Yes, because that was the way we would hear messages from our family. It was the only way to know what was happening in the world. It was, for me, it was everything.
Your mother would speak to you on the radio, your children?
Every day. Every day.
On a radio show? On
a radio show.
So you were the only one who said, let's hide the radio. Yes. Let's keep it. So you became the center because first they attacked you and said, how dare you, you're going to get us all in trouble. But ultimately they all relied on your broken down radio.
Yeah, and more than that, I think that the very core of this problem with the radio was that once they realized I had managed to hide mine, they blackmailed me. And they asked me to give them my radio. And I was saying, wait a second, guys. I mean, I'm not going to give away my radio because I want to listen to these messages. We can share the radio, but if we share the radio, I mean, it has to be a risk we all share, because they wanted me to bear the, the guilt if we were, discovered, but they want
the responsibility, but not the risk.
Yeah, and then they said, if you don't give us the radio, we will tell the guerrillas that you have the radio, and we will give you up. And I thought that was, I mean, that was the reason of the row between us.
I was surprised that they hadn't kept them themselves, their own radios.
No, and especially that there was no solidarity. Why attacking me? Why not saying, look, let's, we're here together in this. And the incredible thing of this story is that by talking, and negotiating, we came up to the good solution, which was, let's share responsibility and let's share the radio.
I mentioned at the beginning your suit that has been very controversial in Colombia, but your description of what happened to you, how you were stripped of your security, that issue, of course, you were abducted and held by the FARC. That is not questioned. But you feel the government has responsibility here.
Well, I think that there was a error in the service. That's what I think. I don't know how much this becomes a responsibility, because, of course, I don't think they could just, foresee that I was going to be abducted. Nobody could. But the thing is that when I asked for compensation for my abduction as a victim of terrorism, this is a law that we have in Colombia that protects as victim of terrorism, and we can ask for compensation, and this happens all over the world. Every country has this. The incredible thing was how the government reacted and how they manipulated the information. Because they said, Ingrid is attacking in court the soldiers that released her. And there is no link between my action, which is asking as a victim a compensation, and my saviors, my heroes, my soldiers that freed me, that I love. And because of that, the way it was presented, Colombians reacted in a very harsh and I think unjust way. They said that I was trying to get money from my abduction, like use my abduction to have money, but taking it from the government. And Amy, I could have that money or 10 times more. I would not accept to go back to the jungle to live what I lived. I was deprived of my children, of their adolescent. I couldn't be there to give my father, to hold my father's hand when he died. So it had been difficult for me to, accept the reaction in Colombia, because I feel it was very unfair. And I feel it just shows how cynical we have become in Colombia, that we just forget the suffering of victims, not only me. Every time there's something happening in Colombia, if somebody is killed, or even if a woman is raped, they say it's her fault, she was too provocative, or it's his fault, he was dealing with the narcos. We always transform the victim into a criminal. And
so while others have sued, you felt you had to withdraw the suit? Yeah,
well, others, my companions, ask for compensation, and I hope they're going to be compensated. And I withdraw because I want to have my peace, my serenity.
We just have a minute to go, though we'll do part 2 right after the show. That day in 2008 when you were rescued, the Colombian military rescue, you didn't realize it was the Colombian military, right? You thought you were just being transferred again.
Yes, it was. They did it so well that they also made us think that they were working with the guerrillas, that they were, in fact, like guerrillas disguised in some kind of humanitarian commission.
They came in white planes?
They came in white planes.
The controversial use of the ICRC symbol, the International Red Cross symbol?
Well, I think I was too much into my own thoughts, and I don't remember that. I know they have shown things in the cameras, but I don't remember that. I remember like a dove in a blue background, and I thought, this is fake. This is not the UN. This is like the Dove soap dove. So I thought, no, this is just a pretending thing. It's not true.
And when did you realize that you were being freed?
When I was in the helicopter, it came to a point where suddenly they moved and they neutralized the 2 commanders, the guerrilla commanders that had come in the helicopter with us. Enrique was the one I was reading about. He was the one that was videotaping my proof of survival, and he was neutralized by the guys. And I remember my companions kicking him.
We have 5 seconds.
And I thought, my God, this is incredible. And then the leader of the group shouted, This is the Colombian army. You're free.
We'll leave it there, but we'll bring our folks part 2. Even silence has an end. Ingrid Betancourt, thank you so much.